Hi, this is Ken Sterner. We're here today at the Working Interdisciplinary Networks for Guardianship, also known as the WINGS Conference. And today with me I have Mary Joy Quinn. Now, I could probably tell you all sorts of wonderful things about this lady and where she's from, but I'm going to ask you to do that because there's so many. I know I can't even remember them all.
I can
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I was born and raised in North Dakota and ended up living in San Francisco. I got there just before the hippies did. And I first taught as operating room nursing in a small hospital school of nursing. And my original education is as a nurse. And then I worked as a public health nurse for many years. And when I was working there, I discovered older people, and I fell in love with working with older people, and I went on to get a master's degree that specialized in gerontology. And then I learned the positions at the court. They were brand new positions, and they were guardianship investigators. And what that was is you go out, the investigator would go out and tell people what their legal rights were, and then find out if the proposed guardian was somebody who was a good person and capable of carrying out the duties of guardianship. We also, when we tell people their rights, one of the rights is that they have a right to come to the hearing, and they have a right to have an attorney. And many times it would end up being sure that they were represented if we thought they should be represented, or if they wanted an attorney. So that's what I did for a number of years, and then I became the director of the probate department for 22 years. And it's hard to imagine, I think, for people who aren't familiar with the intricacies of probate, but probate is endlessly fascinating. And so I was 34 years in that probate department, and it was just always interesting and challenging, and a chance to do some good and make sure people got justice, people who couldn't speak for themselves.
And that's interesting because you are literally talking about someone who is not losing their rights, but someone who's going to come in and speak for them, and from the perspective of maintaining who they are and what they are. That's an awesome responsibility.
It was an awesome responsibility. It was a very white hat responsibility. You felt like you were doing something good for folks. There was some resistance to us initially because, of course, the attorneys were used to doing the things, and families, what they wanted to do, and not have anybody coming in and telling these proposed wards what their rights were. And so the emphasis was on protection, not on the fact that these folks still have legal rights.
Now, you're going to be one of our great speakers today, and so I'm not going to preempt what you are going to be telling everybody, but what do you hope the conference will come out of? What do you think will come out?
Oh, I hope lots and lots of energy to address whatever issues Washington State has. The breakout groups will be where the real work takes place. And I think that the Administrative Office of the Courts has already identified a number of issues working with different stakeholders in guardianship here in Washington. And they will prioritize those issues as to what should be tackled and how things will go. WINGS really aims to create ongoing problem-solving groups. And there's so many benefits to individual stakeholders from working in a coordinated way with other folks, other stakeholders who have the same concerns.
Okay. So, well, thank you again for joining us. We'll let you get back to work, and we look forward to your discussion this afternoon. Thank you again for the WINGS Conference.
Thank you.